Hey everybody, it's Nick and Jay, and we have completed the Smells Like AMC Spirit Race at the Ridge, which of course is the second race at the Ridge that we do every year. A lot of hella sweet stuff there. We had Ranger Road return, and they're doing a lot of races on the West Coast now. If you guys don't remember, this is a non-profit organization that brings in returning servicemen and women and tries to unite them in doing exciting things. For some reason, they decided to do a Lemons race.
Yeah.
But Jay St. Clair, Aaron Brooks, some other Lemons racers have put together this GTI that is set up for a lot of differently abled people. It's got hand controls and all this stuff, so a lot of wounded veterans can drive it. It's really awesome. We hope to continue to see them in the future.
Two pretty great class battles at this race. Class B boiled down to Anton and his Volvo PV544 versus the Vanagon. They were going at it hammer and tongs. Who finally came out on top?
The Vanagon.
No surprise. And back in Class C, the Previa versus the six-cylinder Firebird. I mean, these are titanic motorsports challenges. Always fun to see.
This is Porsche versus Ferrari all over again.
Where's Matt Damon? That's what I want to know. Where's Matt Damon?
How do you like them apples?
We had a couple of cars that were sort of carrying the Radwood torch. There was a Neon from Glow Par Racing. They blew up immediately, but then immediately swapped a motor and kept running, but they had a super rad paint job. And then there was this GTI with a pole position video game theme in this super rad custom front end.
Hella sweet. The no player special. This is an automatic Subaru. Flawless.
The Volkswagen GTI of recreational racing, they had a lot of problems throughout the weekend, and every time we asked them what was going wrong, the description of the problem and the description of the solution didn't really make a lot of sense. So it was something to do with the axle, and when the axle came off, it poked a hole in the transmission. But that was okay because we've got longer bolts. But when we put the longer bolts in, they spun around and tore everything up. It is possible that these guys had no idea what they were doing.
But terrible turned hella sweet. Justin Civic. This is a team. Guy's name is Justin. He has a Civic. His team is named Justin Civic. They flagged out in spectacular fashion on Saturday. They were hopeless. On Sunday, I don't know, somebody gave him a talking to. Flawless.
Hella sweet, a new team, Team Knucklebuster, in a stock Toyota Tercel. That thing was running great until it ran into this minor issue.
Life of the Paddock Party went to Mara from Team Lemonberg. She made a ton of food. Kristen and Leslie helped organize. Everybody did a great job on this thing. Turning out to be a great party.
Judge's choice went to 505 Development Racing and their Toyota Corolla FX16.
Should nominate. Did it nominate?
Yes! Well! This is a new team. They got a bunch of cops on their team. They blew up their radiator immediately. They went to the scary junkyard across the street, fixed it sort of, then it blew up for good. They had the right attitude, stuck around until the end. They got the judge's trophy.
The I Got Screwed trophy went to Low Road Racing and their Mustang 2. So these guys, they had a rear end pack up at a previous race. They went to the junkyard. They got a Chevy S10 rear end, the single most reliable bulletproof part in the world. It was from a totaled truck. Well, what do you think? Do you think that that truck was totaled because the rear end had locked up and caused a crash?
Well, yes.
So they got it all bolted in. Didn't work at all. What do they have to do? Well, they got to go across the street to the terrifying, scary junkyard, find another S10 rear end. Did they find the only S10 rear end that actually didn't have all the mounts in the same place as every other S10 rear end?
Well, yes.
So they pretty much spent the rest of the race fabricating new mounts for their rear end. That one at least wasn't seized. They got back out.
Heroic Fix went to Team Wankler. Now, you guys remember their orange RX-7 from the last Ridge race.
Yes!
And you remember how they vowed they were going to fix it for the next race.
Yes!
And so this race, surely they showed up and had it totally dialed and ready to dominate.
Yes! Well!
Turns out it was kind of much of the same story as last time. But because of their trial by fire and resulting research and development data, they have solved the rotary engine. On Saturday night, they went out and they secured the solution, which is go on Facebook Marketplace, find a car with pistons in it, buy it, come back on Sunday, run flawlessly for the rest of the race.
Speaking of Team Wankler, at the last Ridge race, they made us this huge, preposterous trophy. We didn't actually give it away last time, so our buddy Mike Harrell, who lives up there, he took it home. Well, his wife took one look at that and said, basically, it's the trophy that goes or you go. So he's been under extreme pressure to give it away. Brought it back to this race. We actually wound up giving it to the AMC Spirit guys. Why? Well, very simply because absolutely nothing went right for them. Roland was trying to rack up driver's points by joining their team. Well, Roland, who should know better, also forgot that actually you have to be registered on the team beforehand if you want to get points. Thing was just a disaster, and on top of that, they had to bring their broken car home, they had to have angry Roland, and now they have a giant, incredibly inconvenient, ugly trophy. What a great race weekend!
And there was another special award for this race, the Sir Mix-a-Lot My Hoopty Award.
My hoopty rolling, tailpipe dragging.
And it went to Radioactive Racing and their Chevy Vega. This car was real hoopty. It had a 350 swap. They were trying to jump start it in tech to test the kill switch, and every time it was like, for some reason, the guy, like, it was sparking out every time he tried to hook it up to the jumper cables. That was an inauspicious start to tech. Then they had an equally inauspicious start to the race. It took them a while to fix the car after that incident, and they fixed it, but it was still hoopty as hell.
It's still a Vega.
Yeah, Mix would be proud.
The organizer's choice went to the Camaro Islanders, mostly because they had a good practical joking thing going on. Starts out, they have a new driver. The new driver decided he was gonna screw with the rest of the team, so the team's got the car ready. They're heading out, and he goes, "Oh no, man, I know I was supposed to put the throwout bearing in the car, but here it is. I forgot to put a throwout bearing into the car. You gotta stop." Pandemonium ensued. Well, it turns out he was just goofing on him. That was an old throwout bearing. He just had lying around, har, har, har. Well, they thought that was so funny that when that guy finally went out, they had us black flag him, had us bring him in, had the judges yell at him for going too slow, creating a danger because he was the slowest driver on the track, and strapped him to the roof so he had to go around the paddock apologizing that he was such a slow driver. Well, of course, he was going pretty fast. He was, in fact, keeping up with everybody else. So we love practical jokes, especially when it's one team in on another and doesn't involve us.
Black flag for going too slow. Black flag.
I'm telling you, I had it. I don't know where he said it, or I don't know. Shocker to me.
Yeah? Hey, just want to let you know, that was a practical joke on you.
Seriously?
Yes.
IOE went to Jeep Tricks and their pink Jeep Cherokee. Well, they had what they thought was a clutch problem, pulled the whole thing apart, the transmission out. It was not a clutch problem. They put it all back together and completed the race stuck in fourth gear, because they never could figure out what the real problem was. They proceeded to set the team's fastest lap time on Sunday when they were stuck in fourth gear, and they soldiered on to a mid-pack finish. Well done, guys. Pink Jeep for the win, IOE.
Okay, here is Lemons in a nutshell.
So you've done a lot of prep recently.
We've been into this engine thoroughly.
Without a single doubt, we'll smoke the monster out.
We'll smoke the monster out. No, no.